Despite the growing unease, you remain tethered to the illusion they have meticulously crafted for you. To survive this psychological siege, you must first learn to decode the signals they desperately hide.
Dark Triad individuals are masters of impression management, yet their bodies often betray their true intentions.
Watch closely for the contempt micro-expression, a fleeting, one-sided lip curl that signals their hidden arrogance. This singular gesture reveals their belief that they are fundamentally superior to everyone they encounter daily. Observe their instrumental touch, which is perfectly timed to occur only when they require something specific. They treat physical affection as a cold transaction, deploying it solely to manipulate your emotional state. Beware of their hollow mirroring, where they mimic your posture without engaging the muscles around eyes. True emotional connection requires genuine micro-movements, but their mimicry remains stiff and lifeless above cheekbones. Notice the brief freeze before their charm, a half-second reset before the warm smile finally appears. Your nervous system detects this gap before your conscious mind can even name the growing discomfort. Trust that visceral feeling of wrongness as your body is sensing the predator behind the mask. Protecting yourself requires a radical shift in strategy, starting with the deliberate slowing of the pace. They rely on rapid intimacy as a weapon, hoping to overwhelm your judgment with artificial intensity. By forcing the relationship to move slowly, you expose the immense pressure hidden behind their charm. Shift your focus entirely to their behavior, ignoring the eloquent words they use to distract you. Masterful communicators can justify any action, but their patterns remain visible in the aftermath of events. Track what they do after they have secured what they wanted, for that reveals their nature. Ask pointed behavioral questions, such as asking them to describe a time when things went wrong. They will inevitably position themselves as the victim or the hero, never accepting any personal accountability. Listen for the absence of genuine reflection, which is a hallmark of their lack of empathy. Guard your personal information fiercely, as they will use your vulnerabilities as leverage against you later. Share your intimate details slowly, observing how they handle the sensitive parts of your life story. If your private pain becomes their punchline or a tool for manipulation, treat that as critical data. Maintain your outside relationships, as they will systematically attempt to isolate you from your support network. One person who knew you before can provide more clarity than months of intensive therapy later. The hardest truth to accept is that you cannot change a Dark Triad personality type ever. They possess the cognitive capacity to understand empathy, but lack the internal motivation to feel it. The mask you fell in love with was a custom design, built specifically for your vulnerabilities. Recovery is not about fixing them, but about rebuilding trust in your own shattered perceptions again. As the web tightens, the realization arrives not as a sudden epiphany, but as a slow, agonizing erosion of your reality that leaves you questioning everything you once held to be true. To survive this psychological onslaught, you must pivot from emotional investment to a state of cold, detached observation, recognizing that their behavior is a fixed neurological pattern rather than a temporary flaw. Protection lies in slowing the pace of intimacy, demanding accountability through direct behavioral questions, and strictly guarding your personal information against their predatory curiosity, which seeks only to find your hidden weaknesses. You must look past their masterful communication to the aftermath of their actions, where the truth of their character is always revealed in the wreckage they leave behind in your fragile life. The hardest truth to accept is that the mask they wore was a bespoke trap designed specifically for you, and no amount of empathy on your part can change a personality wired for manipulation and control, as they lack the capacity for genuine connection or true human remorse. Recovery is not about fixing them, but about reclaiming your own perception, acknowledging that your openness was a virtue, not a weakness, and rebuilding the trust in your own intuition that they sought to systematically destroy through their calculated interactions and their hollow, mirroring displays of false affection. You begin to notice the patterns, the way they shift their personality to suit the environment, a chameleon hiding in plain sight, waiting for the moment to strike at your deepest insecurities. Every word they speak is a carefully crafted instrument, designed to bypass your logical defenses and anchor themselves firmly within your mind, making it nearly impossible to distinguish between love and exploitation. Yet, in the quiet moments of solitude, the fog begins to lift, revealing the stark reality. You are not a partner in their eyes, but a resource to be mined for validation, status, or whatever fleeting gain they currently desire, leaving you hollowed out and feeling utterly alone. The isolation they imposed was not for your protection, but to ensure you had no mirror to reflect the truth of their cruelty back at them, keeping you trapped in their narrative. Now, you stand at the threshold of change, choosing to see the predator for what they truly are, rather than the idealized version they presented during those first intoxicating and deceptive days. Your intuition, once silenced by their charm, begins to scream the truth that you ignored before. Listen to that voice, for it is the only compass you have left in this storm. The path forward is difficult, demanding a radical honesty that strips away the lies you told yourself to keep the relationship alive. But it is the only way to reclaim your soul. Do not seek closure from them, as they will only use your desire for peace to further manipulate your emotions, turning your need for healing into another tool for their own amusement. Instead, find closure within yourself by validating your own experience and honoring the pain you endured. The mask has fallen, and though the face beneath is cold and empty, you are finally free to walk away from the trap they set, carrying the hard-won wisdom of your survival. You are more than the sum of their manipulations, and your capacity to love remains intact. It is a testament to your strength that you can still feel, even after being targeted. Guard that light carefully, for it is the one thing they could never truly extinguish. No matter how hard they tried to dim your spirit with their calculated, cold, and hollow games. The journey of healing is long, but every step taken in truth is a victory won. You are no longer a victim of their design, but the architect of your own future. The shadows they cast are fading, replaced by the clarity of your own renewed, resilient vision. Trust in the process of your own restoration, knowing that you are capable of deep healing. They may have stolen your time and your trust, but they could not steal your essence. You emerge from the wreckage with a sharper mind and a heart that knows its worth. The predator has lost their influence, for you have finally seen through the elaborate dark performance. Walk forward into the light, leaving the mask and the manipulator behind in the dark past. Your story is yours to write now, free from the influence of their cold, calculated gaze. Believe in your own power to rebuild, for you have survived the worst they could offer. The silence they left behind is now filled with the sound of your own reclaimed voice. You are whole, you are capable, and you are finally, truly, and completely free from them. This liberation is not just an ending, but a profound beginning of your own authentic life. The chains of their influence dissolve as you commit to your own truth and personal growth. Every boundary you set now acts as a shield, protecting the sanctity of your inner world. You recognize that their need for control was merely a reflection of their own internal void. By detaching, you reclaim the energy they once drained, redirecting it toward your own vibrant purpose. The lessons learned in the fire of this experience become the foundation of your future strength. You are no longer defined by the trauma, but by the resilience you displayed in surviving. The world opens up again, wider and brighter, unclouded by their manipulative and deceptive shadow games. You stand tall, grounded in the reality of who you are, beyond their reach forevermore. The mask is gone, the truth is yours, and you are finally walking your own path.